another episode of the Cozy Cottage Crochet Podcast. My name is Hannah, and this is a podcast all about crochet, a little bit of knitting, sometimes sewing, and generally living the yarniest life possible in St. Petersburg, Florida, where I live. How are you? This is the first podcast of December, the best month of the year, and as you can tell, I am in a completely different location today because it's Christmas. I set up the Christmas tree before we left to go out of town on Thanksgiving, and I was so happy to have it done when I came back. Now, if I'm like wiggling all around in this podcast, it's because I'm sitting on a tiny little stool and it's very uncomfortable. So I put a pillow on top of it. It's not like the most stable recording setup, but I do have the tripod like arm's length away. I'm still afraid I'm gonna bump it, so I apologize. Also, shall we play a game of how many times this episode there's going to be A, background noise, and B, I'm going to drop things because I have no table in front of me like I normally do. So I have a stool over here with some stuff, and there's some stuff on the floor, and then I have a giant basket of prizes. So there's definitely going to be background noise. It's like 5:30, 6 p.m. right now. My husband is right behind this wall in the garage doing some woodworking on some Christmas gifts. He is a maker as well, so you're gonna hear noise from that. I'm currently the only other person home, but at some point my sister-in-law and the baby will be home, and at some point my brother will be home. So, you know, it's just, this is real life. It's gonna be one of those episodes, but I have so much to tell and show you. Shall we? Okay. First of all, if you're looking for me anywhere on the interweb, you can find me as the Cozy Cottage Crochet on Instagram, on Facebook, as the Cozy Cottage on Ravelry. And you can find links directly to all of those right down below in the drop down. If you have any questions, comments, concerns related to the podcast specifically, please shoot me an email. That is the best way to ensure I will see your comment. My email address is thecozycottagecrochet@gmail.com. And I want to take a quick moment to just remind you of the very special sponsor that I had in the last episode, Ana Luisa Jewelry. There's a link directly down below for that as well. If you follow that link, there's not a specific coupon code that you will use, but you will definitely get some sales. They have all kinds of sales going on right now for Christmas, and I just really love their pieces. You can see these right here, these little round ones. I'm recording today, but I actually haven't taken these out in like 2 weeks. Normally, this is my second hole, so I normally just have a pair of earrings that stay in there, and I take them out and clean them every once in a while. So those I haven't taken off in a long time. And of course, I'm still wearing the famous ring. I'm not wearing the necklace because I was wearing this all day, and I thought it would catch on the yarn. But definitely use that link and check it out. My favorite thing about them, besides the classic pieces that I really like, is that they use 100% recycled packaging and 100% recycled gold for all of their gold jewelry, and that is definitely something I can get behind. Also, very important, very exciting special announcement. We don't have fiber festivals in Florida really at all. If you're a Floridian and you know of a fiber festival, please comment below. Okay, I live in St. Pete. It's like the middle of the state and the West Coast near Tampa. There is a fiber gathering kind of in Orlando on January 4th, and it's called Distaff Day, and I am planning on going to that. So if you are a Floridian and you are planning to go to Distaff Day in Orlando on the first Saturday in January, January 4th, you will see me there. Come say hi. I'm going to try and get a few friends to go with me. We will see how that goes, but I'm definitely planning on being there. That is in about 1 month, and it will be, other than Yarn Lounge, which I went to last year at a local brewery, it will be my first fiber festival-y type thing because we really don't have those in Florida. We don't have sheep and wool festivals because there are no sheep because it's way too hot. Speaking of hot, it's like 50 degrees today. When did that happen? I am wearing, you may notice that I'm wearing some yarn. This is my work clothes. So I'm wearing dress pants and boots and my work clothes because I literally came home and started podcasting immediately. But I've been wearing this, and I thought it would be perfect for today's episode because it's December, and this is my Pine Forest Cow pattern. So it's a filet crochet pattern. It's really, really easy, and it's got these subtle pine trees on it, which can totally pass for Christmas trees. I made it in this green. I've also made one in a darker green for someone else that I know in Knit Pick Stroll, and it came out super, super well. So perfect time of year if you want to be festive, but you don't want to be like super obvious about it. This is a really great mindless crochet. And you don't have to make it a cowl, you can totally make it a scarf. A couple of people have done that. Also, I don't know why I said also, because I don't really have anything to follow that up with. What was I gonna say? What was I gonna say, you guys? I don't know. Oh, I do know what I was gonna say. Okay. Maybe we need to take a breath. I think I need to take a breath for a second. So I'm a little up here. Water break. Okay. I wanted to say a huge thank you to everyone who participated in my Black Friday sale. So I know some people have very strong feelings against Black Friday. I generally have a Black Friday sale where my patterns are either a dollar amount or a percentage off, just because it's my way to say thank you. And also I want to make sure that there's an opportunity for anyone who has maybe on a tight budget, which I certainly understand, especially this year, to be able to purchase some patterns. So all of my patterns were 40% off on Black Friday. I know many of you took advantage of that, and I just want to say thank you for that. You enabled me to order a few things that I have been eyeing and get prepared for Christmas a little bit. And if you missed out on that sale, don't worry. Most of my patterns all of my patterns are really not that expensive. I try to price them as cheaply as possible. I have one pattern that is $1, that's the cotton candy slouch, and most of my patterns are between $3 and $4. So thank you so much to everyone who participated. I cannot wait to see what you make with those patterns. And if you do make one of my patterns, please tag me on Instagram, use the hashtag Cozy Cottage Crochet, create a project page on Ravelry. Nothing will help me as a designer more than to have project pages on Ravelry. I have some prizes to announce before we talk about the yarn. So I have so much to talk about today. I have notes. Actually, all of these are this podcast notes, and then these 2 pages are podcast notes for the second podcast I have to record right after this one, which is not a video podcast and has nothing to do with crochet. It is a podcast for the church that we are launching called the Different Church Podcast. You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on iTunes if you just search Different Church Podcast, and it will pop up. There are currently 3 episodes. There will be a 4th episode launching this week. So exciting. So I have to do that tonight as well. It's just been a little crazy around here. But before we jump into anything else, I have prizes to announce because we have 2 make-alongs that ended. What's today? The 3rd. So a couple of days ago, 3 days ago, they were going from October to the end of November, and that is the Villains Mal and the Vanya Cow. So the only rule for the Vanya Cow is that you make my Vanya Cowl pattern, and there were so many beautiful ones. And the only rule for the Villains Mal was that you somehow justify that it was related to a villain. And I just had great fun pulling these prizes. Of course, they're all random. So what I'm gonna do is I'm going to go through the winners very quickly, and then I will show you the prizes. The prizes will be mailed out completely randomly depending on who gets back to me first. So, don't write me and say I didn't get what I wanted. I can't. There's so many prizes. You're just gonna get a surprise in the mail. You're gonna get one of them. And it'll probably go by weight. So the person who is farthest away is gonna get the lightest package because of shipping costs. So Villains Mal first. I have 3 FO prizes, 2 Chatter Thread prizes, and 1 Instagram prize. So for the FO thread, the winners are post number 76, Pat Skane, who is Pat. Post number 26, who is at Andy Williams 08. Your name is Andy. And post number 72, who is A Mathis 11. I believe your name is Amy. I'm gonna send everyone a Ravelry message or an Instagram message, so don't worry. Chatter Thread winners, there are 2 winners. Number 81, Simple Slippers, and I don't know what your name is. You have no information in your Ravelry page, but hopefully you will get my message. And number 18, Rosalba B. I believe your name is Rosalba. And then I have 1 Instagram winner, and that is at JDan60. So that is 6 prizes total for the Villains Mal, and I will put in a screen here of the usernames so that you can see them. And I have 7 prizes total for the Vanya Cal. I have 3 FO prizes, 3 Chatter Thread prizes, and 1 Instagram prize as well. So for the FO thread, the winners are post number 14. That is Mind and Muse, who is Caroline from the Mind and Muse podcast. You are in Puerto Rico. Oh my gosh, it's so exciting. So Caroline, I need your address because I have things to send you. I'm so happy you won. She made this beautiful 100% silk Vanya cowl, and then she added beads to the bottom, and it was so pretty. Also winning for the FO thread, post number 7, which is FSU Knitter. Your name is Terry. And number 10 was Just Magic Maria, who is Maria. The Instagram prize is at Carrie03 Hobbies. I'm pretty sure your name is Carrie, but please respond to my Instagram message. And the chatter thread is post number 50, who is Juby, JEWEBEE 86. I believe your name is Julie. Post number 11, who is Nicola Knits, who actually is a moderator in my forum. So I'm so excited to send her something. And post number 23, which is Ziggy05, who is Amber. So that is 7 prizes for the Vanya Cal. I'm going to insert a screenshot here of all of the names who have won that. Okay, let's talk prizes. I have a shopping basket full and I'm just gonna have to toss them on the floor because there's no way that I'm gonna be able to do this. I'm gonna try to keep them all together. So this is 1 prize. These are 2 balls of Karen Jumbo, which is in the colorway Dalmatian. So it's like a neutral grays and blacks. You get 340 grams, 12 ounces. So that is 595 yards. So you get about 1,200 yards. You could make a sweater out of this, or a baby blanket or something like that. So that is a prize. And I should say, all of these prizes have been donated by viewers of the podcast, and I am just so, so grateful to you to be able to offer these amazing prizes, and so grateful for your support because it brings me joy to send yarn out into the world. And for any of the winners, I'm going to send you an Instagram message or a Ravelry message asking for your full name and address. So I'm not one of those people that's like, you have to watch this to get your prize. I want to send you the prize. You did the work, you made the finished object, you participated in the chatter thread. I want to get your prize to you, but you have to get back to me. So please do shoot me an email, respond to the message that I send you, and I will get your prize out as soon as I can. So that's prize 1. Another prize is 4 skeins of this amazing sparkly ice yarn, which is 40% Angora, that's a rabbit, 52% acrylic, and 8% Lurex, which is that sparkle, as well as these a crochet magazine and an Irish crochet lace, because I thought it would go perfect with this lace weight yarn. Sorry for the rustling. The next prize is a Karen cake in this beautiful color, as well as a Karen latte cake. And they're both kind of purple, so I thought that they would go well together. Then we have these 2. So this is like 50-ish grams of kind of a gradient sock yarn. And this is an unknown sock yarn. I don't know the maker or anything like that, but it's these beautiful like muted jewel tones. So they are gonna go together with this little bag. I'm gonna put things down. I can't reach. Let's see. We also have another Karen latte cake. This is in the colorway coconut cream because it's in neutrals. I just think this would make the best scarf in the world or hat. It's so soft. As well as some crochet magazines, all of which you will find amazing patterns inside. This, I don't know if I can pick up all of these. There is 8 balls of this. They're little 50-gram balls. It's called Yarn Art in the colorway Jeans. and it's a 55% cotton and 45%, I'm assuming, acrylic. It's like a Russian yarn, and I really, really like it. It's like a sport weight yarn. So there's 8 of those, which I am just going to put under the Christmas tree so I can get to some of them are a little poofy, but I think that's totally fine. You can unwind a little yarn, can you? Okay, so that's a prize. Another prize is these 2 yarns. These are both Isaac Mizrahi craft yarn. They're 85 gram balls, red and blue, as well as, oops, it's upside down, a pin from Crochet Luna that says Stitch Hero. And I think this book is hilarious, a Pints and Pearls knitting book. It is very funny. I have read part of it. Also, we have a Knitted Knockers crochet kit. So you will get 2 skeins of this Cloudborn cotton yarn, as well as the pattern to make knitted knockers. You don't have to make knitted knockers, but I do highly recommend it as it is such a worthy cause. And in fact, I have 2 kits to give away. So that one comes with Cloudborn yarn, and this is beautiful pastel paint box cotton yarn. And it also has a pattern for knitted knockers as well. Also, there is this giant ball of Stitch Studio Storybook Fairy Tale yarn in the colorway Turquoise Mist. I think this would be beautiful for a baby blanket or any kind of child sweater, as well as these Knitter's Pride knitting needles. A Lion Brand shawl in a ball with a surprise mini package from Attic Spin Dye. Those are going together. You have a little pair of scissors and a crochet all day pin from Crochet Luna that goes with these 2 beautiful skeins of yarn, sugar spun. And then finally, I have 6 little balls of yarn. So these are worsted weight Lion Brand, and then there is some DK and worsted weight as well from Knit Picks and from Webs. So those 6 little balls will go together as well. Like I said, there's no guarantee what you will get. I hope that you like your prize when you pull it out. It's probably gonna go by weight and who gets back to me the fastest. So the person who is furthest away from me is gonna get the one that's lightest in weight just because of shipping costs. And hopefully all of you will get back to me. I had so much fun. I've left the chatter threads open for those threads for a little while if anybody wants to still continue and keep making. And then for 2020, there's gonna be some amazing cows running. I'm not ready to talk to you about them yet. I'm so excited to tell you what the 2020 is gonna be the year of, but you're just gonna have to wait for another episode. I think probably the next episode is when I will announce. And there may be a very amazing, sneaky collaboration with a certain favorite person of mine. Okay, that is all the prizes. That is all the admin. Shall we talk about actual yarn? Before we even do this, I need to tell you, this is a very knitting heavy episode, not because I didn't spend any time crocheting, but because my crochet is a tale of woe and everything that I did got pulled out. So let's start with some happier finished objects. First of all, I have a finished pair of socks. This is finished pair 18 for the year. I have cast on 19 and 20, although I think it's a bit of a pipe dream to think that I'm gonna get 2 more pairs done by the end of the year. I might be able to do it if I wasn't doing anything else, but literally from now until after Christmas, everything is nuts around here. So I used Premier Serenity Sock. This is their colorway Chili, and it is 50% merino, 25% bamboo, and 25% nylon, and then just some gray stroll, Knit Pick stroll that I had lying around for contrast heels, toes, and cuffs. And these are the finished socks. I really, really, really like them. And they are perfectly identical because I started from the exact same place in the ball. And that was just one 50-gram ball, and I have plenty left as well. So what I did is I cast on 60 stitches for these on 2.25 millimeter needles on my ChowGoo 9-inch red lace circulars, 15 rounds of cuff, 15 rounds of stockinette before a fish lips kiss heel, and then of course the toe, or I just knit all the way until I did a rounded toe, which you can get in Mina's two at a time sock recipe. It's linked in this pattern on my Ravelry page. If you will click on that, it's linked to it, and it's a free pattern. So this is the pair number 18 for the year of the sock 2019. So that is finished object number 1. I don't have any more. No more socks. No more anything else. And if you are hearing noises, it's because my sister-in-law just got home. So let's talk. I have one more thing to show you, but I'm gonna have to wait and be sneaky. Let's jump right into sock whips, because I have, like I said, cast on 2 more pairs of socks for pair 19 and 20 for the year of the sock. I don't know if I'm gonna get them finished, but we'll see. Of course, they're living in my trusty sock bags, which go with me everywhere. And literally, this is just the cast on in 1 row. So this is a pair of Antarctica socks. So this is Hobbii Yarn. This is just a gray Happy Feet yarn that they sent me. So Hobbii sent me 6 balls of yarn plus this little gray for contrast heels, toes, and cuffs to review back in a while, and they're actually a sponsor for the year of the sock. So I will be drawing a grand prize winner in at the end of December, and you could win a $50 gift certificate to Hobbii. And I just want to be clear, it's Hobbii Yarn that sent me these, not Hobbii Yum. Those are 2 separate companies. This is the yarn for the socks. This is Antarctica yarn, and I'm very excited. This will be my 4th pair with the Hobbii socks, and like I said, I barely started them. I just wanted to get the cast on done so that I could grab them if I want to. I have made more progress on this pair, which this is La Mia yarn, which was sent by a lovely viewer of this podcast. She sent me several balls of this. I don't know what the color is, but obviously it's blue. So I'm just using this for the contrast toes, heels, and cuffs. And then for the main yarn, it is this amazing West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. I don't know what the colorway is, but this yarn came all the way from the UK, from Fiona, and I love West Yorkshire Spinners yarn. I've made 1 other pair of socks with them, and I wear them quite frequently. And so far, this has just been a dream to work with. Let me show you how far I've gotten. It's a long sock, you guys. So again, same thing, started with the cuff, 64 stitches, bent all the way down, did a fish lips kiss heel, and now, let me turn it this way so you can see. Now I am working on the foot. So I have to get like 5 3/4 inches, I think, before I do the toe. So all of this, I would say to like here, was done when I was away for Thanksgiving. And then all of this was done on Sunday. We were out with some friends. And so I took this and we did quite a bit of driving around. So I did the whole heel and all of this as well. And Fiona also sent me this lovely little sheep, Scottish sheep. So that's super fun. That is sock number, let's go with, this is sock number 19, and the ones I showed with just the cast on are sock number 20 for the year of the sock. And I don't know. I know someone's gonna comment and be like, you can do it, and I know that I can. It's just a question of how much time am I gonna have. If I only work on those socks, I will definitely have them done, but I have some other things that I'm working on. I'm gonna show you the crochet Tale of Woe, and then I will show you how much progress I've made on the Gramps cardigan for my husband. Because the Tale of Woe is like, I had a break from this for about a week. I'm ready to get back to it now that I'm home. It is living in this fabulous mustard bag, which is by Faye of the Crochet Circle podcast and Knit It, Hook It, Craft It. You can tell that all of this has been wound back into the ball, as well as this one that was completely used up. This is, what is the yarn? Luette Gems worsted in the colorway Eggplant. And of course, this is the pattern that I complained at length about in the last episode. It is the soft gray cardigan, which is a pattern by Kat Golden that I got out of a Simply Crochet magazine. And last time I showed you this yarn sausage. It still looks very sausage-like. And in fact, it may look to you like it has not grown at all. It may look exactly the same size. And you know why? It's because it is exactly the same size. This, in fact, it may be even a row shorter. It's like right here, or the previous row where I was at the end of the last episode. I had full on put like 3 inches on this thing, which is a lot of Tunisian crochet, especially on one that takes you this long to do a row. And I noticed that I was making such good progress. I'd finished that ball of yarn. I was like halfway through the next ball of yarn. And I was like, oh man, this is gonna be great. So great. I'm making such good progress. No, I made a mistake. And normally I would be like, you know what? I think I can fudge it. It's not that big of a deal. Like, I made a mistake on one of these. If I can find it. Let's see. I'm sure I will. Right here. If you can see this weird little stitch, that is where I accidentally decreased one. But when you kind of do that, you can still see it. But that doesn't bother me. I just kind of skimmed over that and that didn't bother me at all. And I was like, that's gonna be at the bottom of the cardigan. No one's gonna see it. It's not a big deal. Like literally you can barely see it. And like from back here, you can't see it at all. This mistake, you could tell because it was on this side, it was on the edge and I had missed 1 or 2 stitches, but like the whole thing went in sharply. And I don't know how I did not notice that right away. Like, how do you not notice until you're 3 inches later? But I looked at it. I put it down for the night because I couldn't face it. And you know, you should never frog when you're angry because it might not be that bad. I was like, maybe I'll just sleep on it and then I will, maybe tomorrow it'll be better. It'll be better, right? I can learn to live with it tomorrow. I can fudge it. I can just add another stitch in. It won't be a big deal. No, I could not live with it. I knew I couldn't. So I waited like 2 days and then I pulled the whole thing out. Back all the way to here. Back to you, Hedwig. So now the yarn sausage is exactly the same size as it was 2 weeks ago, even though I spent hours on it. And it was in timeout for a week. And I couldn't face it. And I think I'm in a place where I may speak to it again. We'll see. I can't deal with it at the moment. So frustrating, that pattern. But I do want the finished object, so I guess I'm just gonna have to deal with it. Probably that cardigan will be done just in time for it to be blazing hot in Florida again. The next object I have to show you is, of course, my Gramps cardigan, and it is for my husband. It's a sweater that I'm making for him. And I talked last time, I was like, oh my gosh, is this crazy to think that I can have the body done by the next time? Yes, it was crazy. I am very far, but I am not done with the body. I just started the gray bits. So the Gramps cardigan is a pattern by Tin Can Knits. I am using Webs, Valley Yarns, Superwash DK. So I'm using navy and gray. This looks like a real sweater, y'all. And do you know what happened? I should call this episode like frogging. Oh my gosh. 3 projects have had frogging involved or tinking or something going wrong because I took this with me to South Carolina for Thanksgiving. And I also took that sock and I took a hat that I was working on. And of course my Tunisian crochet got frogged, the hat got frogged a little bit, and this got frogged a little bit, but I grabbed my interchangeable knitting needle set. I have a Chalgu red lace interchangeable needle set. I grabbed them and I was like, oh yeah, I know when I get to the gray part, I just need to go down a needle size and I'll do the ribbing and it'll be fine. So I finished the last part of the blue on the drive back from South Carolina and I went to go get the 3.5 millimeter needles out of my case, and were they there? No. They were stuck in a bag in Florida in my house. They were not there. So I couldn't work on it. So we got home and then I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start the gray now. So I started the gray. I got the 1 knit row without incident. And then I immediately did an entire row of 2x2 ribbing, which is not acceptable because the pattern calls for 1x1 ribbing. So I had to unknit. I had to tink an entire row, which took forever. And then I was like, you know what? I'm gonna keep doing it. I'm just gonna finish. I'm at least gonna get 1 row done. So I did a row of 1x1 ribbing, and when I got to the end, I was like, nope, I'm ending on the wrong stitch. And sure enough, 2/3 of the way through, I had 2 knits next to each other. So I untinked a third of the row and then I reknit it and I was like, you know what? I'm too tired. I clearly need to put this down. So instead I just went to bed. And it has not seen any love since because that was 2 days ago. So I can't even like get it all on the screen. I have like basically an entire sweater, you guys. So this is the back. So I'm gonna show you where I was last time. Was right here. So I've knit all of this. This is probably 4 inches. And as you can see, I'm just like I'm 2 rows in to the gray. And look at this ridiculous stitch marker. It's a llama with glasses and he's like, I love him. I love him. So I really, really want to get some work done on this. I am, fingers crossed, hoping that the body of this is done the next time I record, because I really, really do want to work on this a lot. I want my husband to be able to wear it. And I still have to do the sleeves and pick up the collar and do the pockets and do the elbow patches. And it's just, to think that it's gonna be done by January, I think is laughable. Laughable. I do have one more project to show you, and it is a hat. It's living in this beautiful little red bag with this amazing sheep pin that was sent to me by one of my patrons. And I just love this pin so much. And actually this bag was sent to me as part of the Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. And I showed you the alpaca yarn from the person who sent me this bag last podcast episode. And I was like, oh, what a nice bag. And I didn't even realize that it's a Tan and Casey project bag. This went with me to South Carolina bag. It is so thick. I'm pretty sure it's waxed cotton and canvas on the inside. So it's not interfaced, but it's super sturdy. And I really, really, really like it. So what is living in here is this amazing purple yarn. This is Countess Ablaze, which I've never held a Countess Ablaze yarn in my hands before. This is a blind date on Spirit DK, which is 96% Falkland Merino and 4% Sparkle. DK weight 100 grams, 240 meters. It's of course hand wash only. It's not super wash. And this was sent to me by a lovely viewer of this podcast named Amanda. And I have a finished object. Now the reason I didn't show it to you earlier is because I will put it on the screen. This is a gift. That's all I'm gonna say. So I finished this last night. This is the hat. These are my beautiful decreases. And so basically what I did is I adapted the Pearl Soho classic cuffed hat pattern. So I cast on 88 stitches on a 4.5 millimeter needle. Did 4 inches of 2x2 rib. Then I worked stockinette till it was 9 3/4 inches, and then I did these decreases. Now, I made 8 of these hats last year, and you would think that I would remember how to do the decreases, but in the pattern for the classic cuffed hat, they have you cut off like right here and then just cinch it. And so I just did that without thinking that I wanted them to come to a point, and it looked ridiculous. So I had to untink. Untink is not a thing. I don't know why I keep saying that. I had to undo the entire thing where I had sewn it shut and pick up those stitches, the row below, because I had done a row of knit 2 togethers all around. And so then I just decreased until there were 2 stitches on each needle, and that made a much better little hole. So I have to wash it. I did weave the ends in, but I haven't washed it or anything yet, so it's a little bit stiff. So it's a very slouchy hat, unless you fold the brim over, in which case it fits perfectly. And it is so sparkly. I loved every minute of working on this, and this is the main project that I worked on when we were at Thanksgiving because I needed to work on it while I was not in my house. You will have known if you saw my message on the screen. So that's all. That's all the yarning that I have done. It has been one tale of frogging after another, but also a tale of determination because I am not giving up on these projects. I did in fact get 1 row done of the, I can't even think now, of the Gramps cardigan, of the ribbing. So I have to do 2 inches of that. I did get the hat finished, even though I had to pick up all those stitches again. And I have not touched the crochet project in a week because I couldn't face it, but I'm in a better place now. So I think maybe tomorrow, I don't know, life is gonna be pretty crazy this week. I have something literally every night. So tonight I'm recording this podcast and editing it and getting it up for Saturday, as well as recording an audio podcast for the church. And tomorrow night, we are going to look at some possible locations for the church. Thursday night, I have a small group meeting. Friday night, I will be with my best friend most of the day, and she is getting married on Saturday. So there's rehearsal dinner, which I'm officiating the wedding, and I'm a bridesmaid. So we're doing that. And then Saturday all day is the wedding and festivities. And then Sunday, I'm going to go to sleep. I don't know. So I foresee very little yarny time in my future, but I'm going to have my socks with me at all times, and hopefully it will be just fine. How was your Thanksgiving? Did you have a good Thanksgiving if you celebrate? We drove, so I got off work, thankfully, a little bit early on Wednesday night, because normally I don't get off till 5, but my boss let me go at 3 because I was driving to South Carolina. So we got there about 12:30 in the night, maybe 1. All I know is we were in bed about like 1:30. And then Thanksgiving was on Thursday. I don't know if it was just like I've been craving some delicious food this year or what, but that was such an amazing Thanksgiving meal. Like, it was top 5 Thanksgiving meals of all time, maybe top 2. Like the turkey, and I don't even like care about turkey. The turkey was amazing. My husband made his famous mac and cheese, which was amazing. There was these green beans, which who cares about green beans, except that my mother-in-law makes them Southern style and they're amazing. And there was homemade sourdough bread and homemade apple pie and homemade sweet potato pie. My mother-in-law is an astonishing cook, honestly. There was squash casserole. There was just so many things. Oh, and like gravy and dressing, and oh, it was so good. Like, the Thanksgiving leftovers were gone the next day. That's how good it was. We kept picking at it until there was nothing left. So we got to see my mother-in-law and father-in-law. It was so good to see them. And then we got to see my husband's sister, her husband, and their 3-year-old, which was just wonderful. So we spent all day on Thanksgiving with them. I knit most of that hat on Thanksgiving, and we watched Food Network all day, which is one of my favorite things to do, honestly. And then the next day was Friday, so we went out and did a little bit of shopping because my mother-in-law had to work. And then what else did we do? Oh, there's this place in Aiken, South Carolina called New Moon Cafe, and they have crab bisque. Literally like one of the best things I've ever eaten in my life, and every time we go there I demand that we get crab bisque. So good. And it comes with this chunk of homemade crusty bread. I need it. So if you're ever in Aiken, South Carolina, go downtown and go to New Moon Cafe and get the crab bisque. They don't have it all the time, but luckily they had it on Friday, so I got to eat some. And then Friday night, his sister-in-law came back over with the family, and then we did Christmas on Thanksgiving because we're not gonna be able to see them for Christmas because we won't have the time off work. So that was really, really lovely to see them. And then on Saturday, we drove all the way back home, and the air did not work in our car, which in South Carolina was fine because it was like 50 degrees. But by the time we got into Florida, it was like 75, and it was getting a little warm. So the car has been in the shop all day. It's fixed now. Of course, that's a ridiculous amount of money, but thankfully we made it home safely. So I'm grateful for that. So how was your Thanksgiving? Tell me down below. What did you do? Did you travel? Did you have delicious foods? If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving, did you still have delicious foods? I'd love to know. I did get some exciting things in the mail while I was gone. And I just want to say thank you so much to everyone who sent me something for Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted. I sent out a bunch of parcels as well. I just appreciate you. You have seriously brightened up my month. And my one thing I want to show you, which may not look like much, it's a little bag. Now this is a bag sent to me and hand decorated by Crochet All Day, which I'll show you her pin. She's Crochet All Day on Instagram. So I'm actually keeping something in this at the moment. And my final wish for Get Your Yarn Wishes Granted is always the same thing. And it's always send me a bag of tea from wherever you are in the world. Because especially in America, you can put a bag of tea in like a regular envelope and mail it with just a stamp. It doesn't cost more than that because it doesn't weigh more. And I love getting mail and I love drinking tea. You will know this if you follow me on Instagram, because in my stories I post a different cup of tea that I'm drinking every single day. And it's just so exciting. And of course, some people send me one bag and some people send me lots of tea. So I'm keeping all of the tea in here. This is like 100 bags of tea. So I'm set on tea for like 3 months, which is very, very exciting. And I haven't drank a single one yet. I'm very excited. I have a couple more bags to add that came in today. I think we're pretty much done. But I just love, like, there's tea from all over the country. There's tea I've never seen before. There's tea from around the world. So there's tea sent from New Zealand, from Ireland, from Greece, from Germany. There was tea from Korea, South Korea, which is amazing. And then I even got an entire box of peppermint tea from someone. So it's like a Russian peppermint tea, I'm pretty sure. And I love peppermint tea. It's one of my favorites. And anytime I'm feeling like sick or a little scratchy, I always head straight for the peppermint tea, which I may do tonight because I'm going to be doing a lot of talking today. So tea is the best. And it's just been a thrill to come home and have little envelopes with a bag of tea in them from all over the place. And so I have tried my very best to say thank you to every single person. It gets a little bit difficult if you don't put your name on the package or an Instagram name or something. But I've tried very hard to say thank you to everyone, and I'm just grateful. And you are supplying my tea habit for quite some time, and I'm so excited. I love getting tea in the mail. So two other things came in the mail, and then I have one very special yarn thing to show you that I have been not talking about for almost a year. What could it be? You'll have to wait. So one thing that came in the mail, it has a name on it. It's from Nikki. However, it doesn't have an Instagram name or an email, and it doesn't have a last name, so I'm not sure who sent me this yarn. So if this was you, please write me, send me an Instagram message, send me a Ravelry message, or send me an email to thecozycottagecrochet.com and let me know if this was you or not, because I really want to thank you. Because inside was this crazy vegan yarn, which is so interesting. I've never seen anything like it. It is, let's see, the yarn is made out of rayon from cotton, bamboo, and elastic. So you can see that it's hand dyed, but also it's super stretchy. And then there's this little mini with it. So I'm so interested to see like what socks would be like in this yarn. And she also sent me a Lorna's Laces shepherd sock, this beautiful pink as well. So if you sent me this, please write me and let me know, because I want to say thank you properly. That's really special. I've never seen yarn like that before, and it's really, really interesting. The other package I want to share with you is quite a little box, which came all the way from the UK, and it came from the lovely friends of this podcast, Andy and Angela, who are the owners, creators behind Attic Spin Dye, which I will leave a link to their shop down below. Their yarn is beautiful and they're super reasonably priced, especially if you are in the UK, I highly recommend. Or if you don't mind paying a little bit more for shipping, you should check them out in the US. They sent me a note and were like, we're gonna send you a little package. And I was like, okay, there's so much stuff in here. So there's some beautiful little fabric scraps, which this is my favorite one, tiny owls. So definitely these will be making their way into some project bags at some point. And if you don't know, they kind of champion the cause for EDS, which is Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which is I'm just gonna give you a couple of facts. It's a genetic disorder. So basically it's a connective tissue problem, and your tissues are really fragile, and they can be hyperextended very easily. Like I can't hyperextend without some serious effort, but if you have EDS, you can hyperextend really quickly. So that will cause you a great deal of pain, as well as fatigue and GI problems and TMJ and all kinds of things, all kinds of issues. And it's not really a very well-known disease. So one of their big things is to spread awareness about this syndrome. So they sent me a brochure, which was very, very helpful, which I'm so thrilled to support the awareness of that. I know Angela suffers from that, and that's a lot. And I know a couple of viewers of this podcast suffer, because I have talked to you about this before when using their yarn. So if it is your condition, to have EDS, then I'm so sorry, and I hope that there will be more awareness and more research and more dollars going towards that in the future so that there can be a cure. Angela sent me, she said this was a not so perfect bag. What are you talking about? This is way better than any bag I have ever sewn, I guarantee you. It's got a boxed bottom. It's beautiful. And look at all these different fabrics. It's so thick and sturdy, and you've got to be kidding me. This is not a perfect bag. So inside are some just little knit notions, some buttons, some beautiful little tape, some lavender sachets, and this adorable pin. This is Spot the zebra. He's a rainbow zebra, which is their EDS awareness pin. So I'm just going to read you what the name says. So it says, "Hello everyone, I'm Spot the rainbow zebra. Funny name for a zebra, right? I'm here to help bring awareness to misdiagnosed and invisible conditions. Why a zebra? Doctors are taught when you hear hooves, think horses, not zebras, but zebras exist and rare conditions are missed. With a little awareness, we might help to spot the zebra." So this one they sent for me, and he is so adorable. He's of course going to live on this project bag. But I've been waiting to show you before I did anything. Also, some amazing cold infused tea, which I'm obsessed with, although it's a little cold in Florida right now. Pretty much 9 months out of the year, it's not cold at all. So I drink a lot of cold infused tea and I love it. Also, the only reason these have made it so far is because it was buried under everything. Otherwise, these would never have survived. I hid them. Gummies! And so there's all kinds of things. Sorry for the rustling. This is like a little surprise pack that will be used as a prize in the future. It's got these gorgeous, look at these minis. I just love your yarn. And a pink one. And it's got some tea in there as well. But wait, that's not all. I'm gonna be a little bit rustly. So they sent me these beautiful yarns as well. And so I'm trying to decide. He said I could keep whatever I wanted and use some for a giveaway if I want. Do I want to keep them all? Yes. But I will probably give some away because I want you guys to experience this too for a very special giveaway. So this is the colorway Bubble, which is just a beautiful tonal blue. There's also Mermaid Hair Don't Care. I love that one so much. I love them all so much. And this one, which I want to keep this, but I'm gonna have to use it for a prize because it's too special not to. It is the Universal Monsters mini set. Look at this. There is 5 minis, each based on a different Universal monster. So you can just imagine Frankenstein, Dracula, Wolfman. I'm assuming that's this one. I don't know the other 2 Universal monsters, but definitely that is very cool. Sorry, lots of rustling. I'm just gonna set this down and show you the last thing that's in this box. Actually, there's a magazine in there as well. So this is going to be, I've decided it's going to be one of the grand prizes for the Year of the Sock 2019 because it's so special. So this is it. This is how it comes packaged. So they sent me like a whole one. So you open it and it's packaged just like that. This is the Rainbow EDS Awareness box. So it has this beautiful little tag. You saw the beautiful wrapping paper. Comes with its very own Spot the Zebra. There's some beautiful, there's like a little candy. There's some tea in it. There's an EDS bracelet. But what is in here is this Rainbow Zebra mini set. So there is 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 minis in this. I am obsessed with this. I love this so much. It's a beautiful, beautiful dye job and it matches the zebra perfectly. And you can even see there's a zebra, the zebra tail. So it's too beautiful and too perfect to stay here. I think it has to be a grand prize. for the year of the sock. So I am going to safely tuck it back away in this box until I draw the winners in a couple of weeks at the end of the year. So not this podcast episode, but probably the one after that, we'll have the winners. So I'm just overwhelmed. I already emailed them and told them that, but thank you so much, Andy and Angela. You are just supporters of this podcast, and I appreciate you so much. And I love your yarn, and you do amazing work. And I love the bag, and I love the zebra. And I'm gonna eat the gummies for dinner. So the last thing I have to show you is something that I've been keeping a secret for almost a year. And it is an advent calendar. Now, I have always wanted an advent calendar. Maybe not always, for years. Ever since I have been involved with yarn, I have wanted an advent calendar, but they are crazy expensive. And you have to order them in June, which if you're saving for one, generally you'd have to start in January. So every year it would come around to this time and I would see all the beautiful vlogmases with people opening their advent calendars, and I would just be like, one day. So this year I was determined. I was like, you know what? I'm gonna start saving in January. I'm gonna start saving up my money because they're not cheap and I just want one. So I'm gonna save my money and I'm gonna try and get one. And this is a homespun house advent calendar. And I have never held homespun house yarn in my hands before or seen it in person. So they used to live in Germany and I was always like, oh my gosh, beautiful yarn. But they lived in Germany, shipping was kind of expensive, so I just didn't order anything. They recently moved to the United States, so I was like, maybe I can get a homespun house advent calendar. So I saved and saved and saved for 6 months, and I was still minus $50, but I knew I had a crochet pattern coming out quickly, so I talked to my husband and we worked it out. So I did purchase it, and then I just had like an IOU for $50 to our bank account, which I managed to put back in maybe 3 weeks later. So it's the third day, so I've opened days 1 and 2, which I will show you, and I have not opened day 3, and I will show you right now. So it came like this, all these beautiful little drawstring bags. This is day number 1, which is the colorway First Advent. So pretty. And I'm putting them back in their bag because I don't have anywhere to like hang this up. There's a baby in our house. This is day number 2. And this is colorway Sugar Plum. It says beautiful pink. And it came with this precious little house pin that matches. So that's day number 2. And can I just tell you, this is like literally the most exciting thing I've ever done. Every day I'm like, oh my gosh, I get to open another thing of yarn. It's amazing. I've never done anything like this, and it was worth saving for 6 months. This is day number 3. What do you think? Let's pull it out. This is colorway Myrrh. Oh, I really like that. That's so pretty. I love it. So these are all, I think they're 20 gram minis, and then on day 24, I will get 100 gram skein. So day 1, 2, and 3, and these are all the rest of them. They packed them very tightly in this box. I was very impressed. So that was so exciting to do. I do want to say a very special thank you to some Patreon members who have helped support me in the past little while. Special thank you this podcast episode to M, Margaret, Mary Beth, Marquesa, Nancy, Nicola, and Nina. I appreciate you so much. You can support this channel in any way if you like. I have a coffee link down below if you would like to help me keep this podcast ad-free. And if you'd like to join our Patreon community, I post a weekly love letter every Sunday, which is either text or video. And I have been vlogging a little bit. So I did a Thanksgiving vlog and I did a vlog, and I think I'm gonna vlog a little bit more over there because that's super fun. So thank you so much to all of my patrons. I so appreciate you. Whew, and it has been almost an hour. I'd say, how did that happen? But the living room looks like a yarn fairy threw up in here. So I am going to go ahead and sign off because I have another podcast to record and I have to get this edited and uploaded before I go to bed tonight, and I have to eat dinner at some point. So if you liked this video, do give it a thumbs up. That helps me to know that I am creating content that you like and that helps fill you with joy. If you'd like to be kept up to date on future videos as they appear on this channel, you can hit the subscribe button directly down below. Don't forget to check out Ana Luisa with the link. That is the jewelry company. And then check out our Ravelry group. We will have new crochet alongs, make alongs beginning in January, and possibly one sooner, a collaboration. I'm not sure. So until I see you next time, happy Thanksgiving, Merry Christmas, happy holidays. If you don't celebrate Thanksgiving or Christmas, happy December. And I will see you again in 2 weeks. And I am sending you so much virtual love and Christmas cheer. And hopefully this episode wasn't too crazy with a different place and me going off screen all the time. So until I see you, happy crafting, be kind to yourself. Leave me a comment below, tell me what you're working on, and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye!